Okay, so today we are going to talk about our Password Manager extension 2.0, which will go GA first week of February. You guys will see a complete new user experience, the login experience, editing stuff, and settings as well. And then we made a lot of improvement into our folder structure. So today's agenda is first I'm going to talk about the shared folders. Then we introduced a personal folders into our password manager. So now you will be able to create a multiple personal folders. And then at the last, password manager extension. So what exactly the shared folder permissions are? For now, there were a lot of customer who was keep asking for that, by default, you can create shared folder and you can share with anyone within the company. If you are one of those administrators who want to have a control over security and ensure that there are specific group of users or a specific users in the organization who can create a shared folder and share with the team members for a better security purposes, for better access controls. Now you will have an option available on admin portal where you can go and specify which user or user group can create shared folder, and then you can assign them to whomever you want to share with them. The next slide I'm going to cover is about the personal folder. So in order to have a better organization, better categorizing your stuff, for example, you have one folder which is all about accounts related to your work, accounts related to your social media or your Netflix and other stuff, other streaming vendors. So you can categorize them all together. And another thing, if you are one of those IT administrator who's managing the password manager or shared folders for other team members in the company, now what you can do, you can create a personal folder and manage whichever account or website you want to add. So you can take your own time, prepare the whole folder, and then after that, you can switch that to share with the team member rather than creating a shared folder and changing things while the folder is already shared with the people. So that's where the people who are receiving these accounts, they don't get confused because one day they see there are 10 accounts in the folder, then next day they say, wow, why all of a sudden it's just 15 or 5 accounts from 10, and then there's a lot of question and concern raised on that. So I will demonstrate that as well, how to create these folders and the settings. And now our browser extension 2.0. So as most of us already know, you guys have already tried our browser extension. So one of the main pain point we have with our current browser extension is adding a new account is confusing and time consuming. That every time you want to add something into Password Manager, after logging into the account, you have to click on the extension, click on the review button, and then you have to go through 4 different steps in order to complete enrolling account in the Password Manager. Now we reduce this 4 step into 1 step only. Then there was no clear option available how to exclude site. For example, if I'm logging into a one particular site which I do not want to save in Password Manager, and every time I go there, they keep asking me, do you want to save this in Password Manager or not? So that's becoming really irritating for you that why, if I said no one time, why does it keep coming back and back again? Then the next issue we have, which is a very common one, a multiple account for one specific website. So it is very common that, especially for an IT administrator, to have a multiple account for one login page or one login domain. And that's where every time you have to scroll up and down and read through each and every account and make sure that you know what exactly happening there. Now we make that life easy where we will remember the last used credential so that when next time you try to log in, you will have the last used credential on top of it. So it's kind of helps you that, okay, this is the account do you want to use or not. And then at the last, there was no visibility which folder the account belongs to. So I will go over each and every settings and the step of our browser extension which will talk about how the new user experience is going to be. So this is something how a new extension is going to look. So we added a new way of logging into account. While logging into the account, you will have an option to add account there. Now you will have option to exclude the particular website. So if you're logging into the site for the first time, we will give you an option. Do you want this to remember in Password Manager or not? If you click on the exclude website, then we will never ask you again until you go back and remove that from the exclusion list. We implemented a global search. So with the new extension, now when you try to search particular account on the extension, it will look through all the folders, all the items. With our existing extension, it only looks for the specific item which you have selected or the folder you have selected. And then we also improved the whole navigation of the browser extension as well. And now the next part, which is I'm going to go directly to the demo. So here is
Himanshu, before you do the demo, can you say again when the new extension is coming?
It's the first week of February.
Perfect. Stuart had asked that. So first week of February, Stuart. Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to just log into one of my account here. So as you see, today, anybody in the organization can go and create a folder, and there is an option available if I want to create a personal folder or a shared folder. If I want to create a personal folder, I will just say and click save. Now, if you in the past, we always have this default personal folder. Now there are multiple folders which I can do, and I can move around accounts there how I want. And then later on, once I have all the accounts available, there's an option there. I will convert this shared folder to the shared folder. Once I converted it, now you will see this folder is available under shared folder, and I can edit them by the description, the name, or assign the user to them or a user group. Now, when I click on the folder, as you see, there are two options available for me because on the organization level, we allow everyone to create a shared folder. This is the default option available for everyone today. If you're one of those administrators who want to make sure that only specific group of users or the users are able to create shared folder, then you can configure here. So for example, I configure Himanshu here, and now the David user who has logged into this application, when David tried to create a folder, now the shared folder option is going to be disabled for them. So the only thing David can do can create a personal folder, and for the better organization or the category to have a better category for different use cases. Other than that, you won't be able to create a shared folder there. And now I'm going to go back and talk about our browser extension. So this is how our new browser extension look here. We have this new flow where right now I'm on a JumpCloud website. That's why it automatically select the matching item related to this one particular website here. Now you see all these accounts what I have for JumpCloud. If I go to, let's say, if I go to a Google or for example, I will just go to my, let me just cancel this, my Jira board there, right? And then click there. So it will tells me all the items because this particular site account I haven't enrolled in the password manager yet. That's why you're able to see all the items here. But as soon as I move to any particular website which has an account available, it will automatically select matching item to make your life easy. Now, every time when you're on a particular website, you don't have to scroll up and down or search for an item which you are looking for, because our extension is smart enough to tell you these are the items available. Do you want to fill in one of these account in this website or not? I will go back, and another thing, and you can change this if you want. You can say the most recently used. So it will tell you all the most recent used accounts you have here. Or if you want to see all the items there. In the past, when have we have all item, it only show you item which are in your default personal folder. But now you see this small folder icon here. So this is showing you all the items, doesn't matter it exists in your default folder or in a shared folder. So that you don't have to every time go and click additionally, look into different folders there. Now, another thing what you can do, there is a setting which is I would say on global level for your particular system. But on top of that, if you want to have a particular setting just only for Gmail's login page, you can click on the item setting and you can enable and disable whatever settings you want, so that every time when you go to Gmail login page, this behavior is going to be only for that specific page, rather than having it every time you are logging into all different pages there. So now we have this whole new way of opening the setting page. You can import file. What's new link here? Once you click on it, it will redirect you to the release note page, the support channel, and the sync to the host. Once you click, it just makes sure that your extension is in sync with your desktop app. And at the last, when you click on log extension, so you just logged it, and in order to unlock, you will use your Touch ID or Windows Hello to authenticate there. Then another thing which is about disable extension on this URL. So if I select this, what it's going to do, when next time I come to login page for the JumpCloud, it will just you will not see a password manager there. The way to enable it back, when you go to this particular site, you need to click on enable extension on this URL, and it will just enable it. Now, this is our settings for new extension. So basically, by default, we have this enable, which will make JumpCloud as your default password manager vault on the browser. And you can enable or disable however you want. That's by default, it's disabled, which is about it automatically logs you in if you want to visit a website with the login form. So in this case, I will just keep it enabled. Auto submit is there. And if you have excluded some website, so in the past, what happened, if I select that password manager, JumpCloud password manager should not remember a credential for this website, or every time when I come, it should not keep asking me to keep adding it. There's no way to recover your account from that website. So now if you have any website in that exclusion list, you can click on view and you can remove that from there. So icon offset, this is something, if there are more than one icons on specific website, so you can reduce the sizing, the pixel of the icon which you see on the login page, which looks something. I can just log out from here. I'm talking about this icon here. So that is something based on what configuration you want, you can configure that. And then the exact domain only. So this is when by default it is disabled. So you can enable this, because when you're trying to autofill the credential for the particular website, then the password manager dropdown will only show you the item that exactly match with this current page here. So I can give you an example here. As you see, I have all this list of account here for this login page, because some of these accounts exist in admin login portal, some of them exist in the user login portal there. Now, if I go to this particular JumpCloud and I say in the item that, hey, I want the exact domain only enabled. Now, what happened that if let me refresh this page. Now, when I click on it, as you see, instead of showing me the 8 different items, now it only shows me these 3, because these 3 only belong to the admin portal login page. So I'm going to go back and disable this. And so this is something I did on item level, but if you want, you can have it as a global setting for your account. And then this will autofill the matching password to the current website. So this is by default, it's on because you want the whole auto login experience to be there. Then security related autofill, disable 2FA notification. So you can enable and disable that. And now the new thing we added here is the download log. So anytime if there isn't any issue you are experiencing with the extension, you are on a call with the JumpCloud support team, there's an easy button there, just click on it, it will download, and you will have the log file there. And you can add a passwords here as well. And so once you click on it, so it automatically detect which website you are looking for. You can select which folder you want to save this in, and you need to define the nickname, the username, and the password of this thing. Now, the next thing which I'm going to talk about in this video is, while you are creating an account, how our password manager extension is going to help you. So here for this booking.com, I click on register account because I don't have an account for this. And once I enter my email address, now next thing what it does, it automatically redirect me to the page where I need to create a password. And now our password manager extension is smart enough, which will detect that user is trying to either create a password or reset or update a password. And that's where our password generator pop-up will come, and it will help you to create a complex password. So this is a 16 or 20 character password with all different combination, because as a human, it's not easy to remember, but our extension is going to provide you this information. You click on fill in form, it will automatically fill in, and you create the password there. Now that's where from day one, as a user, when you're creating a 20 or 24 character of password, you won't be able to remember. You don't have to copy and paste anything, because our extension is going to give you an option. It automatically save in the extension. Now, next time, anywhere you try to authenticate, if you have a mobile app or you have a paired devices, our extension is going to autofill that bigger length password or the secure password for you. Now, in the past, this experience wasn't there. You have to manually copy and paste. That copy paste is gone. And now we have this pop-up which is asking you, do you want to add this into password manager? You have created a stronger password, but still this account doesn't exist in password manager. You can click on add, which will add. You can ignore it. With the ignore, what will happen when next time you try to log in, we will again ask you, do you want to save in password manager or not? Then there is an option which will say exclude website. So if you click on it, it will get excluded from the whole account. So I click add. And now next time when I try to log into this particular website, this account exists right there. So this is one of the major change we did in our product here, because you have to go through a lot of different steps, and you have to do manually copy, paste, and remember and make sure if it gets saved or not. If it doesn't get saved, you lose the 24 character of password, then you have to reset your password again. Now everything happen in one flow while you are logging into the website or while you're creating or updating your password on the particular website there. And then other than that, so if you just want, this option is available here as well. And our password generator tool is going to be smart enough. So if I change that to the 31 character, next time when if I go to any particular website, it will remember and it will show me 31 characters, whatever the last combination I have selected there. And you can refresh and regenerate based on whatever password you want to use there. And that's all I have for the browser extension.
All right. I think there's quite a few questions.
All right, let's start with Kelly's from a while back. Let's say a user creates a shared folder and that user leaves. When I deactivate or delete that user, what happens with that folder? In other words, will I get prompted to transfer ownership to someone else?
So in that case, what happened that as an administrator, you always have access to that folder permissions. So if the person left the company, you can log into admin portal, select the particular folder and change the ownership to a different user.
Now, is that after you've deleted the user?
Yes, so after you remove the user, yes.
Okay.
So it will look something like this. So even though the person has left, what I will do, I will click on the marketing or the demo test user folder. There is an option, user with the access. So I can change, assign it to different people, or you can assign different user group there. So if there are more than one user, which most of the user group has, you can just change the permission there. Or you can revoke the access for the particular user from here as well.
Okay, and a follow-up to that question from Jeff. Do personal folders get removed when an employee leaves, or do those become available to transfer?
Those are gone because those are personal folders. So if the employee leaves, you deactivate the account, and those accounts are gone. Yes.
Okay. There was a little bit of discussion in the comments about if there was a shared password or like an account password that should have been in a shared folder that wasn't. I guess that just is gone basically, right? Like they
Correct.
left it in a personal folder.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then from Mark, can a shared folder be unshared? And I believe if you just remove people from that shared folder, that'll basically unshare it, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And if you shared it with a group, then removing that group will unshare it as well, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So nothing has changed there in 2.0.
Yeah.
Okay. And Nathan joined a little late and asked, have there been improvements to organizing items? For instance, has drag and drop been added so you can simply drag things into folders? The move functionality has been clunky.
So that is something I believe you're talking about on the desktop app. So we are working on our desktop app version 2.0. It will take a couple of months, and you guys will see a complete new desktop app with the drag and drop, right click, selecting multiple items, moving things around. The whole creating a shared folder, because the only place you start creating shared folder from desktop app, the whole experience is going to be completely different. So we are working on that.
Yoke. Urvashi, do you want to take a few of these?
Yes. You've marked the ones that have been answered, right? Just to make sure I'm
Yeah.
overlapping. Okay. So from Kelly, how do I show this? What is the invite setup process for a new user under 2.0?
So there's no, you're talking about invite process for shared folder. There is no change in that.
No, I think it's
So
just
once,
to invite someone to Password Manager as a new user. Like if you're
so
maybe an
there's no
admin.
change in that. Yeah, so there's no change in that. So once you add a user group or into the password manager, all the users will receive an email where they can go and verify and download the desktop app and continue the whole onboarding experience there. There is a one update we did in the login experience, or I would say activation experience. In the past, there was a captcha where you have to click 10, 15 times on the image. And now we have completely removed that because we upgraded our captcha version. So you don't have to click on 10, 15 times on the image selecting the bike or bicycle,
Thank
all that
goodness.
pain.
I hate those.
That's gone. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, next one. When will passkey support be added? From Jeff.
It is in our backlog. We don't have any ETA for that yet, but definitely it's in our priority list.
Awesome. So coming soon. ETA is
Yes.
ETA. All right. I think this one was kind of answered in the chat by a couple of people, but does this password manager have something that other password managers like 1Password doesn't have?
So one of the biggest thing is this is a decentralized, right? So there is no insecurity of hack people hacking into it or losing a master password, that if somebody get access to master password, then they can log in and get all your account information there. So there's no master password. This is decentralized, and this is like the one of the main key feature there as an enterprise. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll do this one and then I'll pass it back to you, Becky. So this one is from Nathan. Presumably the list of excluded websites is available within the settings so that you can unexclude a website if necessary. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you for the question, Nathan. You want me to keep going, Becky, or back you?
I was just trying to find my unmute, of course. All right, from Carol, do you plan on supporting command line utility for developers to autocomplete passwords through command line?
That is something that's a good feature to have. We don't have on the command line interface or password manager. Uh, it is in our backlog. We talk about it in, but yeah. But you can use this, as I said, this password generator tool available on desktop app and extension. You can copy paste and to the command line. But there is another feature which you want the password manager to support command line interface, so that all this experience what you see on the web will happen on the command line interface. That's in our backlog. So there's no ETA for that yet.
Thank you. All right. And to be able to programmatically via API update, add passwords and secrets to Password Manager, we have automations that do this primarily for dev stuff. So Nathan's wanting to see if we can do that.
Yeah. So Nathan, as of now, we don't have that, but there again, this is something we are working on it to having it as an API. So I would recommend if you can please submit a feature request for this. We will definitely look into it.
And I think that actually came after James's, which is why it would have made more sense if I read this first. Is it a roadmap item to be able to store files in Password Manager, like login keys or secrets that need to be shared among a team?
Yes, it is on our roadmap item. In fact, not only just files, it's on a roadmap item where you should be able to create any custom item, based on your requirement. Yes. So this is something we are looking into it. SSH key, Wi-Fi password profiling, anything. You can customize the item based on your need. Yeah.
Gotcha. And Jeff has a couple of comments here. Let's see. JC Password Manager CLI would be awesome. I use 1Password CLI for handling SSH keys and API keys from the command line. And then he added PowerShell module for Password Manager would be great too. So Jeff,
feature request.
I was just going to say that. And here's another one from Ian. How about configuring Password Manager for things like the icon offset using the command line?
For basically, we have password icons, which you can change the icon sizing by clicking on this whole offset. But we don't have anything which we can do it from the command line.
Okay.
Feature request. I'm going to make this a thing now.
Yep. Have an automation that just puts it in the chat. Feature request. Or we need a like a where you make a gesture,
like a
and
gesture
it pops
activated.
up, and then it pops up with a little bubble over your head. That's what we'll do. I don't know how.
Request. I'll
There
figure
you
it
go.
out.
And one more. Any plan on support for YubiKey with JumpCloud Password Manager instead of PIN?
There's no plan for the YubiKey as of now, but yes, we are working on to support a passkey as one of the credential instead of a PIN.
Urvashi, I think that's your cue.
Feature request. I think I saw one. I don't know if I zoned out or what, but there's somebody asked about a PowerShell module for Password Manager. Did we do that one? Did I mark it? Did I not? Who was saying? Yeah, Jeff was saying JC PowerShell module for Password Manager would be great. I think I tried to mark it.
I think I said that one after the CLI. So
okay.
both side by side. Jeff says, every time Jeff makes a comment, it should auto-reply with feature request. Instead, every Jeff comment gets automatically turned into a feature request. Oh.
For that, we will need a feature request.
But seriously, y'all, it helps us prioritize when you put in a feature request. And when multiple people do it, even though it sounds repetitive, they go into a system, and then we look at them by how many people have made that request. So it actually does help when more than one person puts it in. Himanshu, thanks for joining us and giving us the update on Password Manager. Lots of great questions. Wow. So it was a good day. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Please subscribe and check out more content from us.